Hi, welcome to today's slow flow. For today's practice, you don't need any props, just some space to move, and we'll get started on our backs. So making your way to a reclined position. We'll start in broken bridge, soles of the feet on the mat, knees pointed up towards the sky. Give yourself a little time here as you settle in. Maybe you windshield wiper the knees side to side. Give yourself a few rounds of breath. When you're ready, find stillness. Knees pointed up towards the sky. And take your hands to the side of your body, palms pressing into the floor. Then bring your knees into your chest. Not a tight squeeze, just hugging them in gently. Starting with a little core engagement. Slowly lower your toes down to tap the mat, keeping your low back pressed into the mat, then hug the knees back to the chest. Lower the toes to tap, keep that low back pressing down, then hug the knees to the chest. A few more rounds at your pace, not rushing to get in as many reps as possible, but moving nice and slow here. That's sometimes my favorite part. Sometimes the biggest challenge with the slow flows is slowing down a bit. If you can hear some snoring, Teton is napping right off camera. Pause next time your knees are hugged in. Then bringing your hands to the top of your left shin or behind that left thigh. Extend your right leg long. Point the toes up towards the sky. Then extend the right leg forward once again. Hug the right knee into the chest. Hands shift to that right leg. Now left leg extends long. Left leg lifts up towards the sky. Left leg extends long. Knees hug into the chest. Both legs. Hands can rest on the floor, extend them long. Lift up towards the sky. Extend them long, heels hover off the mat. Knees into the chest. We'll do one more round each leg. Extend the leg long, right leg first. Right leg up towards the sky. Right leg points forward. Right knee into the chest. Other side, left leg extends long. Left leg up towards the sky. Left leg extends long. Left knee into the chest. Hands to the floor, both legs. Extend them. Lift them up. Extend them. And hug the knees into the chest. Nice work. Give yourself a few rock and rolls up and down the spine. And then make your way up to a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Finding a nice strong base here. On an inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, look up. Exhale, round your spine, press away from the mat. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, round the spine. One more round at your pace. And when that's complete, make your way back to a neutral spine. Slight pull of the belly button in. And extend your right leg long behind you. Toes off the mat. Now you can pause right here. This is great for balance. Or extend your left leg long, left arm long. Left leg, holy cow, that'd be a neat trick. Reaching away from each other. Then pull left elbow towards right knee and extend long. Left elbow pulls towards right knee. Extend long. One more, elbow towards the knee. Reach away from each other. Bring hand to the mat first, knee to the mat next. Give yourself a moment, shift the hips side to side. Then come back to center. Extend your left leg long, toes off the mat. Now pause right here. You can stay here, or right arm reaches forward. Find your base. Then pull right knee towards left, or rather right elbow towards left knee, and extends long. Ooh, a lot of rights and lefts here. Elbow towards the knee. Extends long. Elbow towards the knee. Extend long. Bring the hand to the mat first, then knee to the mat. Walk your hands forward about a handprint and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Now you can pedal out the legs here. Can shift the hips side to side. Goal here is a long spine. So hips lift towards the sky. Knees can have a little bend or a lot of bend. But goal here is a nice long spine from crown of the head to that tailbone. Then on an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in and out. Inhale, reach up, you can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, pause here for an extra breath. Elbows hug towards the side body. Sit bones press back. Next breath, fold forward, planting your hands, step back to plank position. Inhale and plank on toes or knees, press away from the mat. Then use your entire exhale, lower down to the mat. Untucking your toes. Inhale, lift just your heart for baby cobra. Tops of the feet press into the mat. Exhale, lower back down. Twice more with your pace of breath. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe hands hover. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift, engaging that upper back, tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, back down. Take your feet wider towards the edges of the mat. Hands stay pressed. Lift your heart, cobra. Pausing here for an extra breath. Elbows stay soft. When you're ready, lower back down. Inhale, press up to your plank, toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog, or you can always take a tabletop or a child's pose here instead, giving yourself a few rounds of breath where you choose to be. If you're in down dog, notice if your weight is pressing really heavily into the heels of both hands. See if you can press into your finger pads, into your other knuckles, releasing a little of that stress from the wrists. Give yourself 2 more rounds of breath wherever you choose to be. On an inhale, sweep right leg towards the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands, crescent. All the toes point forward, arms come up to frame the face. Back heel presses away from you. Soften the shoulders from your ears. Then we'll start to shift our weight forward. Hands come down by the hips. Pour the weight into the front foot and just float the back foot off the mat. Balancing stick here always makes me feel like I'm in Titanic. You know the scene? One more moment. Then bend into the front knee, return to crescent. Back heel presses away from you, both feet on the floor. Now you can go back to that balancing stick or shift into warrior 3. Hands come to heart. Pour the weight forward. Press into the front foot. In this shape, our body is a little more parallel with the floor. Then we'll start to shift our weight forward. Hands come down by the hips. Back heel presses away from you. Both feet on the floor. Now you can go back to that balancing stick or shift into warrior 3. Hands come to heart. Pour the weight forward. Press into the front foot. In this shape, our body is a little more parallel with the floor. Back toes point down towards the mat. Inhale, bring your hands to airplane arms by the hips. Exhale, reach them forward. Inhale, draw the hands to heart center. Exhale, airplane arms, palms face down by the hips. Inhale, reach forward, challenge that balance. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, bend into the front knee, return to crescent, hands reach up. Then hands down to the mat. Step right back to down dog. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale, sweep left leg up and back. Exhale, step it between the hands. Crescent toes point forward, arms frame the face. Back heel presses away from you. Slight pull of the belly button towards the spine. Then begin to shift forward, pouring the weight to the front foot, hands back by hips. Press into that left foot. Right toes point down towards the floor. Heart pulls forward. Next breath, bend into your front knee, return to crescent. Find your base here, soften the shoulders. You can go back to balancing stick or hands to heart. Pour the weight forward, warrior three. So the crown of the head reaches forward. Back toes point down towards the mat. Inhale, open the arms for airplane. Exhale, sweep them forward. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend into the front knee, return to crescent, arms lift up. Hands back to the mat. Step back to down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, lift all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana or upward salute. Exhale, hands to the heart. Breathe in and out. Now hands can come to hips here or keep them at heart, whatever feels more grounding for you. Pour the weight to the left foot. Right foot becomes light, standing balance or one-legged Tadasana. Bend in that right knee, toes point forward. Should say flexed forward, I guess. You can stay here or play with extending that leg in front of you, working on that hip flexor. Good work. Then bend the knee once again. Arms reach up towards the sky. Right arm comes back, left forward, a bit of a twist. Left hand can come to the outside of that knee if it feels good. Breathe in and out. Unwind, come back to center, keep the foot lifted. Then bring right foot behind you for crescent. Toes on the mat, both feet down, feels good. Right hand comes down to the mat. Left arm opens to the sky, revolved low lunge. Give yourself a moment here. Maybe you roll out the wrist. Then bring left hand down to frame the foot. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Wrists press down towards the floor, elbows away from each other. Hands can stay here or come to hips. As you're ready, weight pours to the right foot. Left foot off the mat, standing balance or one-legged Tadasana. This is great. You can stay right here, strengthening that ankle and that right leg. Or play with extending the leg forward, really pressing the heel away from you here for just a moment. Bend the knee again. That one's always challenging for me. Arms can reach up. Left arm comes back, this time right forward. Arms reach away from each other, or maybe you take that right hand to the front knee. Pausing here for a full breath. Keep pressing down the right foot. Next breath, come back to center, both arms lift. Left foot presses behind you for crescent. Left hand comes down, right arm stays up. Revolved low lunge. Give yourself a full breath here. Maybe you roll out the wrist. When you're ready, right hand comes back down to the floor. Step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold, plant your hands and step back to a plank position. Toes or knees. Press away from the mat, shoulder blades slide away from each other. Belly button pulls towards the spine. Then keeping your hips lifted, lower down to your forearms. And if you're on your knees, you'll come to the toes for just a moment. Begin to walk your toes in towards your body, lifting your hips for dolphin. Forearms press into the mat. Heels reach towards the floor. Hips lifted. You can stay right here, or maybe you lift the right foot up towards the sky. Lower it back down. You can lift the left foot up towards the sky. Lower it back down. Pause here for one more moment. Then walk your legs long behind you, coming back to forearm plank. Give yourself a breath here, pressing away from the mat. Then lower knees to the mat, hips to the mat, Sphinx pose. You might walk the elbows forward just a bit. Palms can press into the floor, or you can interlace the hands. Ears lift away from the shoulders. Low body is nice and soft here. See where you can find some release. Breathe in and out. Give yourself one more full cycle of breath here. When that's ready, lower your upper body down to the mat and press back to a child's pose. Knees as wide or as narrow as feels good for you. Arms reach forward. Forehead can soften to the mat, or I like to bring a little pillow under the forehead, back of the hands stacking on top of each other. Handful of breaths here to soften. Next breath, begin to lift your upper body out of that shape. Coming to hero's pose, knees point forward, or you can take an easy seat. We'll close out our practice from here, but if you'd like to go to a shavasana, head to a shavasana. If you're seated, find a tall spine. Eyes soften or close. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Feeling the inhales fill the torso. Exhales press out all of that air. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Crown of the head lifts towards the sky.